Hey, this is Lorena, and I wanted to do a video for you on how I get my back fabric ready. In this video, I'm going to share with you what I do, and also I'm going to share measurements on how much yardage I purchase for each size of quilt tops that I'm making, okay? So I really do thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the making. All right, bye. So usually a baby quilt is 36 by 60, so you can just go and buy 1 yard or 1.5 yards or even 2 yards of fabric to have enough fabric without having to piece it to do a baby quilt. Now, for me, that would not work because I'm a long armer. Now, if I did it on my domestic sewing machine, it would work. But I need to have 6 inches on the width and 6 inches on the length extra on top of the size of whatever quilt I'm making. So I would have to piece it. But for you, if it's a smaller baby quilt or like a little quilt, you're just going to have to buy yardage and then you can work with that. In this video, I also wanted to share with you how much yardage I purchase for each size fabric, okay? I'm also going to give you kind of that information. For a throw is 54 by, let me say, 78, I think. I love throws because kids can wander around the house with them. I end up buying 3.5 yards of fabric, and I asked the lady to just give me 3.5 yards. And what I end up doing is I sew end to end. So example is, here's my yardage, and then I get this end and I get this end, and I bring them together, face them together, and I sew end to end. And then I open this seam and I cut it, so it gives me a good enough amount of yardage that I have the extra fabric that I need for my long arm quilting, top and bottom, and also on the sides. And it's so easy. Okay. So that's what I do. I know that there are some people out there that really, you know, this is a thing for them. They end up buying, you know, one panel and they cut the panel the length, and then they get another panel and then cut this in half and sew a back fabric on one side and sew a panel on the other side. And that's how they do their back fabric. And that is fine. That is just a lot of work for me. I don't have time for that. You do whatever is best for you. This is just what I do. I found that in the end, it doesn't really matter because the long armer, or for me as a long armer, I get the fabric and I move it to the edge about 3 inches away from the edge of the seam of the back fabric when I start quilting, because I don't want to waste my client's fabric. So the seam is always going to be a little bit offset, but the seam should disappear once it's quilted and once the fabric is washed. I try to make back fabric as easy as I possibly can because it could get complicated. I use the Fons and Porter's measuring tape. I love this thing. I've done them as giveaways because I love it so much. You can go up to 120 and then it just retracts, so you're not having to, okay, you know. Some people ask me how I measure, and I make sure that the fabric is flat to the tape. I don't know if you can see that. So this quilt is 97. And I don't pull, I just try to make it flat. So it's 97 to 94. Let me write that down before I forget. I always do the length first. So I'm going to measure the length, and I'm going to make myself 2 panels. And since I'm putting it on long arm, I need to add about 6 inches. Here's 97. I need it at 103. So I'm going to go 104, okay? Then I'm going to cut it. So now I have 2 pieces that are 104, and I'm going to sew them together. And then, because this is what, 43 plus 43, the width of it is going to be 86. And so I still need to add another panel, but I'm just going to share with you how I do these 2 first. So here I'm at the end, and then I go forward and back. This isn't even, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the fabric, kind of straighten it as much as I can, and then I roll it over on itself to where all the seams are flat. Then all the seams are one straight line. I'm going to get this fabric so that I can add another strip. Then I'm going to sew this strip right here to the back fabric. Here I have the seam. Make sure I sew on the right side so that all the seams are facing one direction, not having one seam going one direction, one seam going the opposite, because I've done that. So I sewed everything down, and then I have this kind of tail, and I always have the fabric that I'm aligning it to on the top, this seam on this side, and this seam on this side. And now I'm going to sew this to the leader so that I could get it ready to quilt. Now, of course, you can buy back fabric that is 120, and then you buy the amount of yardage that you need. But I have found that sometimes that back fabric is not very pretty. Or I can't find the back fabric that fits and coordinates with the quilt top that I'm making. But yes, it is the easiest way to purchase back fabric. But if you don't want to purchase, I think it's $16 or $18 a yard for that fabric, and you find yardage that fits your quilt, this is how I do it. I really do hope that this video helps you. I hope, giving you the measurements and how much yardage I use for each quilt helps you when you go out there to buy your back fabric. But I really do try to make this process, oh Lord, as simple as I possibly can, because I want to get to the quilting, you know what I mean? So I really do thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.